Insatiable, incorrigible, indomitable, indefatigable, ingenious, inline skaters. Welcome back to the Long Flow. This will be one uninterrupted 15-minute clip followed by a 9-minute clip. I did not plan such flows. I'm rarely good for over 5 minutes at a time, but today the swift roll gained by my new quality wheels goaded me on to go faster and further. When I pass people on a park trail, I go slow and shift from foot to foot to keep from squeezing a rock between my weight and the road in a way that could ping a person David and Goliath style. I'm careful not to ping cars as well, but today is all about momentum. If you're looking for big jumps, that sort of thing, stairs, there's not much here. It's more about the flow. So you might find it boring if you're looking for jumps. Check out aggressive skating if you want stairs and jumps, that sort of stuff. Here is the ice rink. It's melted. I considered doing some drills to test the durability of my wheels, but these hovercrafts feel so fresh, I decided it would be a crime to stuff them into a cage. Instead of the rink, I take the path of a roll addict and roll whatever catches my eye. With my new harder wheel, I'm still able to gain full grip on a low, long stride. I love the power slide already, but when I find the wheel bite at the end of my strides when low is 100%, that is the clincher. I might have mentioned in a previous video that to skate well, one must stay low.
Stay low.
Yep, that sounds familiar. After this first real sprint, I get a shot of the wheels for what I know will be a positive review. Get used to this shot. I hit it several times to make sure that I get a steady close-up of the subject of the original video. I hit this shot almost every time I'm tired and coasting. Apologies for the repeat on that one. This is originally a wheel video review video. What? I will be checking out 2 other kinds of wheels from Pro Skater's Place in the next few weeks. It's a topic I get a ton of questions on, probably more than the sum of all other questions. No exercise questions at all. What's up with that? It's not about the wheels, but I do love these wheels. Pro Skater's Place has kindly included some incredible extras in my last order. I'll be rolling a slightly harder wheel, the Gyrosonic 86, which is slightly harder than this 85 on the durometer scale. It's an 86. It's a small difference. I wonder if I'd notice if I didn't know. Doing a blind trial probably wouldn't be a good idea. The other wheels I get to try have flint inlays which create sparks upon friction with the road. I see a few uses for these besides simply freaking people out. Hitting the drag when approaching intersections could further mark me visually for drivers. I also wonder if the sparks could be used to learn more in video replay that I might otherwise observe from my wheels alone. I could watch the patterns of the sparks or the trails to understand my motion or pathways, as it were. Must remember to take some slow shutter speed photos. Now that spring is here, I will be organizing some group skates. If you're interested in group skating within the beaches, please email me at billstoppard@gmail.com. There is also the possibility of some downtown skates as well, depending on interest there. The first group skate will likely be on a Saturday at 11 a.m. Pack skating is a blast, and influence from other skaters is great for skills development. Who knows, maybe someday you'll even skate in a Pinto Pony Productions skate video. What a dream come true. I rarely choose to skate on this path, but I'm feeling speed on the flats that I only ever get with wind or downhill. Perfectly round wheels really do give me that disconnected feeling of flying through the air. I'm reminded that inline is unique in that we can spaz out like angry charging baboons, coast afterward, yet still benefit from and build on our previous efforts. The peaks and crescendos of a continuous line mix with the hum of the road to form a sort of full sensory music which plays out to the beat of my heart. Life begins at 120 beats per minute.
Oh mate, that's like a 9 on the cheese factor. Almost lost me lunch there. Plays out to the beat of my heart. It's a pretty little song, isn't it?
I've been bringing you these skates with a variety of poles which I mount my GoPro to. I've used a monopoo, but find it too stinky. I've used a monopod, but find it too heavy for long flows. For most of my vids, I have a camera mounted to a hockey stick, or the shaft of a hockey stick, rather. With the hockey stick, over time, I developed a painful case of lateral epicondylitis. Yeah, you can call it tennis elbow if you want, but I like lateral epicondylitis. You haven't seen me play tennis. The hockey stick with the camera was fine on the prime movers, but just a little too much for the tendons and ligaments on a regular basis. Lately, I've been using a single leg of an old small tripod. It's telescopic to 5 feet and weighs half of the hockey stick probably. The only drawback is the loss of super easy leveling as with the rectangular hockey stick. I not only believe that the rise of the mini action cam like GoPro will elevate performances of athletes around the world and across the various disciplines, but I know that these cams and their wielders are already resurrecting and redefining inline. Inline is no longer represented as something which takes place in a park. That's not what we are doing with our skates. Inliners seek mobility, and now that mobility can be shared, tracked, or discussed thanks to apps, cams, YouTube, and other forums. Inline manufacturers force-fed us stationary events we never swallowed. They tried to jam inline into parks, half-pipes, and bowls, but we are not guppies, we are wolves, antelopes, cheetahs, and hawks. And there's a few goats in there. But they're trying. Now skaters are defining the sport, and manufacturers don't know what the fuck to do or how to keep up. I can really only think of one company that has responded pretty well to skater-driven consumer needs. It's Seba. They offer skates which can be both employed for aggressive skating and can also accommodate technically sound, fast city skating. An aggressive skate that does not feel like a space shuttle on your foot is rare, but they have them. If you're going to trail skate, this is the time of year to do it. Few people are out, Having to slow down a good flow is a drag. Gaining the momentum again is great for your conditioning though. Spring is also prime time because it's cool and there's less chance of overheating. Gasping for air while being overheated is enough to make a skater retch. In public, it's a little embarrassing. It's quite rare that I get a good flow on this trail. As I progress, I'm still feeling fresh and need some more speed. The trail scene is starting to heat up a bit. At this point, I'm starting to think more about what the next slowbie is going to do than how I'm skating. So I wind my way back to the safety of the street network. There's more for my feet to do. I like the multiple choices you get as far as how you go from point A to point B. Having a defined track with lines and lanes and nowhere to deviate to gets boring after a while. On the street there are innumerable patterns to weave, many surfaces to explore, things to dodge, and just more shit to see. So this next section is simply a gentle skate through a quiet neighborhood. I don't have any quality descriptives for this section, and any of my wildly entertaining stories are just a little too long for the next minute, so I will revert to default. Musical interlude, please. Sidewalk skating is pretty tiring as you don't get to employ a full stride. You have to keep it narrow. But sidewalks are really just a link anyways, or should be. When I'm rolling alleys, I think I treat them like bus lanes in a city like London, England. Wherever cars have been idling, there is a good possibility of finding some very slick surfaces. I've rolled through large patches of oil on a dry day and done an impromptu power slide for longer and more windmilly than I hoped or planned. And I've also hit a oil patch while it was raining and hit the ground extremely hard. That was the time I bent my arm backwards at the elbow. Not the worst injury, but pretty disconcerting to skate home with. So yeah, look out in alleyways for oil patches from cars. And there's also like oil patches from restaurants that dispose of their materials poorly. Though in the beaches you don't see a lot of that. Downtown Toronto, on the other hand, I would keep your eyes peeled. Back on the streets, I'm still finding it easy to maintain momentum. I'm on a slight declined road, which is one of my favorite speed stretches. Up ahead, there are some skateboarders traveling in the same direction as me. Might as well be skating backward. I would not be upset to hear that these kids went home after feeling like slowbies and smashed their skateboards to pieces in a fit of rage, all while blaming their parents for swallowing stale old people's propaganda when buying them boards instead of skates. Oh, we could have been fast. They could have been fast. That revolution might be 5 years off still. We will be here, waiting. Ah, yes. Beachside water break. I actually ice skated over a kilometer of this very boardwalk during this deep freeze of 2014. It feels like all the ice skating this year has given my power and endurance a little boost. My foot speed after the lighter hockey boots feels a little less peppy. It can't be due to age. I don't plan on peaking for at least another 10 years. What do you know? I'm back on the trail again. What's this? Maybe I should skate with my hands tucked behind my back and start sporting head-to-toe spandex. I think I need a special aerodynamic helmet too. One with flames on it. I wrestled in high school, so my getup in that sport wasn't much better at all. I do like watching speed skating. I'm only poking a little fun. The sport is as valuable to my own skating technique as hockey skating is. I think the only skating sport that has left no impression on my technique is figure skating. Alright, maybe it's affected my choreography, or is responsible for my secret stash of bejeweled, plunging neckline blouses. But that's it. Regardless, I was shocked at the feats of athleticism from this year's Olympic skaters. The huge, powerful jumps, one after the other, the edge control, power, conditioning, and pound-for-pound strength involved is certainly not something I can mock. Not like their garish, artistic sensibilities. Or is that nonsensibilities? Their garish, artistic sensibilities, or lack thereof. I know there is a lot more that can be done with these beautiful cement banks. With the camera stick, exploring is only a little trickier. I'd like to visit this one without the camera soon. Most things are possible with the camera stick. I was surprised from the very first skate how natural it feels to hold a stick while skating. I was also surprised that my GoPro footage was steady enough to use right from the very first experiment. The one thing I avoid most with the GoPro stick is skating backwards. I think maybe splitting my attention between filming and looking where I'm going is a factor. But even more than this, moderating my arm movement on the backward flow really just throws me off. Alright, one thing I don't like about my camera is that it dramatically de-emphasizes the hills. The incline here is not crazy, but it is significant, and you don't really see that on the video. Seriously. It's really hard. The added stride glide from the new wheels makes it way easier than it was last week. As you can hear, I'm pretty tired here, but I'm not dead yet. Stopping halfway up the uphill sequence is just not very Rocky-esque. I find the rough road I was looking for my video. Trying to rough my wheels up. I say trying. If you want to see the results, check out my wheel review number 1. The annotation will pop up at the bottom of the screen right now. Sometimes when you street skate, you pray for a green light. Other times you pray for a red. At this moment, the red is way too short. Better for you viewers, though, I guess. Red light footage is not the most watchable. Back on the main road, the surface is hard and fast, so I take the rush it offers. Sometimes cars don't know what they're doing or where they are going. These are the ones I treat like the tanks from Tron. I stay so far away from them that they could not hit me if they tried. Or at least that's my goal. These parking lanes are great, but I have seen some cars using them as passing lanes at insane speeds, like 100k or something. I always enter these lanes like I would the center lane, with my head on a swivel and my feet on crimson alert. This car ahead looks like it's about to parallel park. I bail. Circling back gives me a full 360 view of what's happening in my immediate area. Anyway. If I can let a line of cars go and then tag on to the end, I will. It's possible to stride beside cars, but I enjoy the fuller stride more than the narrow stride. It's a particularly quiet time on this road. When it's at peak, I avoid it. There's nothing to be gained by skating among darty pedestrians and idling cars. The benefit of not officially being allowed anywhere is that I feel I can go anywhere. Red light. Now I'm a pedestrian. But not for long. I have no idea where my eyes are dragging me, and I don't know where the urgency is that I take this ill-advised shortcut with poor visibility. Whoops. I apologize for the possible fright to the driver, and then roll into what was supposed to be an empty alley. How dare they? When I'm in a real hurry, these are the routes I take. The pavement might be imperfect, but it's not soft, and there are none of those easy to sink into tar snakes to battle. So we're nearing the end of today's experience, and I want to remind you again that if you would like to join a group skate this summer, contact me at billstoppard@gmail.com. All routes will be chosen specifically for the skill level of the participants. Initially, this will not be a rock'em sock'em tear it up skate. We'll save that for later. At first, it's really just about skaters rolling together and sharing techniques and experiences. Here's the familiar last stretch yet again, and just in case you did not see it the first 76 times, here's one last shot of my wheels. I really get into this pothole for some reason. Probably not the adrenaline-filled ending you expected.
That boy ain't right. Should have heard the things coming out of that mouth.